Okay, we are live. We are live. Listen, welcome. Let me make sure that I can hear myself. Y'all know that I am the producer, the coordinator. I am my own makeup artist. I am my own stylist. I am my own lights person. I'm own producer, co-producer. I do everything over here at Hood Parenting Live. Listen, hello and welcome, 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 welcome. If this is your first time here, I am so glad that you took this time out to come and visit me today. Maybe I should have cleared my throat before I got started. It seems like every time I go live, my voice always wants to act up. But we're not going to do that today, okay? We're going to rebuke that. We're going to send that on over somewhere. This has been, okay, before we get started, let's first give a listen, shout out to it being November. If you've been asleep any point of 2025, if you slept any part of 2025, I need you to know that you didn't miss it. Okay. If you slept any part of 2025, I need you to know you have missed it. Okay. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait to the next one. Okay. You're going to have to wait to 3025 because at this point, 2025 then went by so fast until I was telling somebody the other day, I don't think that we actually got 60 seconds per minute. Nope, I don't think I did. I don't think that in 2025 that we all got 60 seconds per minute. I think somewhere in there we got shortchanged by about 10 seconds per minute, at least 5 seconds. I'm gonna say five, maybe seven. Okay, let's just do a middle number. It ain't quite 10, it's more than five. Let's say seven because I can't see how. I mean, it just flew by. It flew by. hmm hmm So if you have been asleep any part of 2025, then you have missed it. But okay, listen. Hello and welcome to Hood Parents and Live. This is the part of the internet where I come on here on Sundays and I talk to the audience. I talk to people. I talk to young adults. I talk to parents. I talk to those who want to hear firsthand about things that I've been through, things I've experienced, and how life has put me to this here and now, right? And it's not that I have had this life that has had all of these, these experiences. No, it's just that I feel that I have learned enough and I have watched enough from other people, and it's a constant learning that I am able to pass those things along to other people so that they can make sense of it, right? So that they can take those same things, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, allow it to work for them and do something magnificent with it, right? Because what I realize is that in this place in my life, I am in a place where I know for a fact that where I'm at, I'm the only one that's in this position right now. Meaning, okay, I'm 52. I am, like when I think of all the things that's going on, only I fit this narrative. Only I fit the narrative of where my life is right now. I have an 11-year-old. I am 52. I'm retired military. I am on my third career. You name it, no one else fits this criteria but me. Okay. And so because no one else fits this criteria but me, I'm the only one who can walk this road. I am the only one who can troubleshoot this road, right? And so what I mean by that is, can I pick up those pieces from other people? Can I learn from other people's experiences, other people's time, other people's obstacles, other people's successes, other people's failures? Can I learn from those things? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, because I know I can learn from those things, this is what Hood Parenting Live is. Me turning around and giving you those things so that you too can learn from them. No one ever said that it's going to be perfect. No one ever said it's going to be without error or it's not going to be without obstacles or it's not. No one even said that it's not going to be easy, right? Because who knows? Sometimes it's easier than we think it is, especially when we look back and we think about how far we came and we look at where we are now. You'd be like, wait a minute. And I didn't even think I was growing. So, this is why I want to tell this story today. Today. And so I am just going to start it off by showing this card. Okay. I'm going to start it off by showing this card. Okay. Now, if you are a fan of reality TV or anything like that, okay, or competition shows, then you know what this card is. All right. It was announced this past week. So if you are not following me on all other social platforms, okay, because you should, okay, Yashika Foster. If you're not following me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, you need to go over there and follow me. However, again, this card, go ahead and drop it down below. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of minutes what y'all think this card is. What do y'all think this card is? Okay. I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds. I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds to tell me down below what do y'all think this card is. What do you think the card means? For those of you who out there that knows what it means, put it down below. For those who don't know, okay. For those who don't know, put it down below. All right. If you know what it is, put it down below. Okay. Now, giving you 10 seconds. It was announced this week that I was a contestant on Squid Games Season 2, The Challenge, Player 309. It will be airing on Netflix November the 4th, which is 2 days from today. Okay, so go on over there on Netflix and catch your girl. Okay, now that's all I can tell y'all. That's all I can tell y'all because these NDAs is real. Okay, these NDAs is real. But I was a contestant on Season 2 of Squid Games, The Challenge, contestant 309. Okay, now, what I want to talk about is dreams do come true. So, I'm going to tell you guys today a Disney fairy tale story. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell you guys a Disney fairy tale story. And I'm going to fast forward because if I give you all of the details, right, we may be here for about an hour or two, and then you're going to be like, you know what, Yashika, that was a TED Talk. That was a TED Talk. And so because I'm going to save it all for a TED Talk, I'm going to give y'all the condensed version. Okay, I'm going to give y'all the short version. Fast forward to August of 2023. I believe I'm right. It might have been 2022, but I don't think so. I'm almost positive it was August of 2023. I went to Disneyland in California, and I met some friends there who were my coaches, right? So they were my coaches, not necessarily friends, but business friends. Business friends, and we all went there for an adult trip to Disneyland, okay? Now, while we were at Disneyland, me personally, I had been there before about maybe 15 years prior, but I hadn't been like through the eyes of myself, meaning that when I went the first time out to Disneyland, I took my kids, my two sons who were, I want to say my oldest boy was probably about 14, and that made my baby boy maybe about 6 or 7, somewhere up in there, 14, 15, 6 or 7. So I took them to Disneyland at that time. And so while I was there, I just remember it being so like amazing to me. But I didn't know if I was seeing it from the perspective of me being a girl, okay? Because that's very well might be what it was because I had my then husband and my two sons. And so I was really just in awe of all the prettiness, all the beauty, all the princesses and all the castles and just the cartoon characters or the characters and all the colors and just everything that you think about in terms of Disneyland. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this trip. Again, I'm going to say that for my TED Talk. But what I will say is that on this trip, I met a person who had just been a contestant on another reality show, a competition reality show. Now, what I haven't said was prior to this, I had auditioned for or sent in clips and tapes of myself multiple times to various game shows. Okay, I would say through the years, probably about 4 game shows, and I never received a call back. So I was starting to be, and this is one of my, like when I tell you being on a reality game show and like really, really bringing home, like when I tell you being on one and making my mark, like it's on my, it's literally, it was on my to-do list, right? It's on my to-do list. When I tell you it's on my to-do list, it was on my to-do list always since I was a little girl, okay, was to be on a reality show, to be on a competition show. When I was a kid, I wanted to do gladiators. That's the one that I wanted. I wanted the gladiators. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be a gladiator, okay? In fact, I was like, my name was Sheikah hyphen, my nickname was Sheikah. So I was like Shira in my mind. So I was going to be on gladiators, okay? So being on reality shows, and back then we called them more game shows, Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Deal or No Deal, you name it, I'm there. Okay. Well, I was starting to believe that maybe these things don't happen. Maybe these things are people who have a certain, whatever. I don't know what I told myself, but I kept telling myself, because I do know one other person who was on a show when I was on a trail. That was one of my battle buddies. His wife had made it to Deal or No Deal. And so that was amazing. But for myself, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I haven't done something right. So let me keep trying. And I was like, well, is this even real? Or do I need it was like all these questions. I'm like, the people that get on these shows, do they have like an agent, that's casting them? And so I never had anyone to really sit down and talk to me about this. All I knew is that these were things that I wanted to do, and I didn't know how to do them. So I just did what I knew to do best, which was to Google it and see whatever Google come up with. And from that point on, I just put in applications. I didn't go and review people applications. I didn't go review people's tapes. I didn't do anything. I just did what I know how to do to be myself. And I recorded myself for these shows. And so I would never get called on any of them. I had never got called on any of them as of that moment. Okay. So I was looking at it from, okay, is this really possible? Like, do people, like normal people, average people like myself, really get on these shows? And so that was something that I was wondering. So when I went to Disneyland in 2023 and I met this regular person who had just did a reality show, it was like, okay, all right, Yashika. So they're right. Anybody can get on this. It wasn't, you had to have a special something, or you had to have something that I didn't possess. It was none of that. Those were just things that I was telling myself for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I was telling myself those things. Well, Disneyland was amazing. Okay. Disneyland was absolutely amazing. Fast forward, I continue on with the coaches that I had. I continue on doing what I'm doing. Then one day, and later on that year, and I want to say later on that year in 2023, about 2 months later, Squid Games, The Challenge, had aired. And right when it aired, it put up at the end that you can be a contestant for season 2. So I do like I always do. I go ahead and I subscribe, right? I go ahead and I apply to, Squid Game season 2. So I didn't think much of it. Then one day in June of 2024, I'm on the phone with one of my family members. And as soon as I hung up from them, now here's the thing. I had always told myself that anytime I get a California number, that I will always answer, because I knew that a lot of the production studios were coming from that area. And so it was always one of those things that if I ever get a number that doesn't say scam and it comes up California, that I will answer it. So sure enough, this number came up California. And so I went ahead and got off with the phone with my family member, because we were in the call anyway. And so when I got off the call, by that time, the person had left a voicemail, and the person said to me who they were and where they were calling from, which was a producer that was calling from Squid Games. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. So what I did was I went ahead and called them back, because it was a woman and she left her number. So I called her back, and I was like, this got to be a joke, right? I was like, she's like, no, it's not. She's like, no. She's like, do you know? She's like, no, it's not. She's like, it's not a joke. And next thing I know, she and I got to talking. We were in the conversation for a few minutes. And when I say the ball started rolling from there, it started rolling from there. And within 48 hours, I was on a phone call with people from Netflix, the producers from Netflix who work for Netflix. And from my understanding, I was the first person or one of the first people who had actually been interviewed thus far because they had just started the interview process and already I was meeting with the producers. And they had just started the interview process for season 2. And just like that, I was in it. And so it was not until November after the elections that they told us or started to tell people whether or not they were on it. And it was at that time that I got my call to let me know that I would be going to film season 2 of Squid Games, The Challenge. And so when I tell you that it was one of those things where I felt like, what can I say? How do I explain it? It was almost like as if I was reminded that I wasn't forgotten about, right? It was almost as if I was reminded that, dreams do come true, that you manifest your reality. You manifest the life that you want. And it's not about me just sitting back and praying. No, I had to be proactive. And when I say proactive, I mean very proactive. I probably submitted I would say about 20 applications through the years to different shows. And I know one I've submitted about 7. And so it's one of those things where it's not something that, I could do often because of my previous jobs. But when I got into a position where I knew that I can do it and that the ones that I knew that I could do, I definitely applied. And then I applied and didn't even think anything of it. Because in my mind, it was like, okay, now that I see that it's possible, right? It's like, okay, I just have to make sure that I set myself apart from everybody else. And that's what happened. And I was told, that there was over 100,000 applicants that applied for season 2 of Squid Games, The Challenge. And so for me to be player 309 out of 456 contestants, you have no idea how that feels. I mean, when I tell you that was one of those things where I know that God is smiling down on me and the ancestors are walking with me, and the things that I am manifesting are there. It's like you got to do the work. You have to do the work. And I cannot explain that to anybody enough. And I'm not saying that's all it was. It was just that. No, it was a lot of all things. It was a lot of all things. And as I keep going through the different challenges and doing the different things and doing the different whatevers and signing the mini NDAs, right? Now I feel like I know the process. Now I feel like, hey, it's like I get it now. And the bottom line that I learned from all of this, that I would tell anybody that want to do these things, that want to go out and put themselves out there, that want to apply for these game shows, that want to do whatever it is that they want to do, what I would tell them, and I would tell you this, and I would tell anybody this, and I would tell it this, and this would be my number one piece of advice to any and everybody. Be yourself. When I tell you, I can't say that enough, honey, be yourself. Because each time I did an interview with them, with the producers from Squid Games, it was one of those things where, baby, I was my full-blown self, to the point where there was one conversation that I was having with someone, and I started to have the conversation with one of the producers or one of the people who had to audition me. And prior to us starting the video camera, I had started talking. And that person was like, you know what? Can I get you to stop right there? Okay? Because I need you to repeat everything you said all over again. And this time I'm going to push the record button. Because I need to get this on record, what you saying. And baby, when I tell you, Yashika came out in full bloom, baby. She came out in full bloom. I didn't hide who I was. I didn't try to fix my dialect. I didn't try to act like I didn't try to fix the way I spoke. I didn't do any of that. I brought all of me to every audition, every callback, every appointment of all of the processes of all of the things that signs NDAs. Okay. And when I tell you that that has been my creme de la creme, my secret sauce, you know what? Because see, what I recognized before when I was doing those tapes is that I was trying to act professional in a way where, hi, my name is Yashika Foster, and da, 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 da. And I was just saying it and I wasn't being myself because I'm trying to check the block, say this, say this, say this, say this, and you got to say it all within a matter of these many minutes. But then I thought about it. I said, no, honey, that's not who you are. You are a storyteller. So tell your story the way you want people to hear it. And if you only got 60 seconds to tell your story, then baby, you better make sure you use some powerful words to get your story told because you only got 60 seconds. And so when you only got 60 seconds to tell your story and to sell yourself, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Right? You got to be able to say who you are. You got to be able to say what your heart is, who you are up here, the things you've done, and everything. But when I thought about it, shouldn't that be easier for you to do than somebody else? I was like, yeah, Yashika, you got this. So when people ask me, because I know people have asked, as I've made this announcement, how did you do it? I was just being myself because dreams do come true. And that I realized. If I never knew it before, I realized it through this process. And so as I keep going and I keep signing these NDAs, honey, as I keep signing these NDAs, right, I just keep on being myself. And it's working. It's always worked. And I'm so glad that I get to sit here and do this, right? And so that's it. And so if you want to know the secret sauce to that, that's it. So that's all we were going to talk about today on Hood Parenting Live. It's just be you. Real dreams do come true, right? Just be yourself and keep going. And no matter what, do not stop. No matter what, do not stop. And so listen, I had a whole different platform of things that I was going to talk about, like a whole sheet of things that I was going to talk about today, okay? I didn't talk about any of those things because I had to talk about what I felt in my heart to talk about. So I don't know who this is for, but I know it's for somebody. Just be yourself. Trust me when I tell you it's enough. That's it. That's all. And if you are ever in a position where somebody wants you to be something different than that, then that's not your person. That's not where you need to be. Go to where you are appreciated, not tolerated. So again, I don't know who this is for, but I know it's for somebody because they told me to tell y'all. So listen, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to Hood Parenting Live. And listen, there's some glitches we working out because right now Sunday is just Sunday Live. I will be resuming back with my Hood Wisdom Wednesday soon, as well as my resiliency chair on Friday. Just bear with me because trust me, I am just one woman and I have a lot of things going on and and I am enjoying the ride. And so listen, this has been amazing. This has been great. And look, don't forget to turn on y'all notifications so when I do post another video or when I go live, you will be the first to know. And if not, catch me next Sunday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Hood Parenting Live. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Bye.